And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. We are Frankly Football. I'm your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, Honey Grant. Set it off, Chris, with me. Chris, the sun is up. You know,
Yeah,
we're doing things in the daytime for once.
yeah. We
Well,
trying, we
but
trying to get it in where we can get it in. People got
absolutely.
lives, got stuff going on, so we just trying to
Mhm.
make sure we get our reps in, man. Trying to make sure we get our reps in. Trying to be freshman All American. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So, like I explained when we were ending off our show last night, right? We are trying to go through each of the Cowboys draft picks and do a film session once a day.
Right.
And what comes after the first round, you got the second, right?
Absolutely.
So, in the with the 44th pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Cowboys selected Donovan Ezeiruaku. I'm just gonna call him Easy because that name gonna have me in the chokehold, right?
Yeah.
Edge rusher out of
Okay.
Boston College.
Out of Boston College, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I watched two games.
Mhm.
Easy, right? I didn't watch the Virginia Tech game because you told me they turned them every way but lose.
The Virginia Tech game, man. Baseball tooting the
Mhm.
104 pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars set the school record with 265 rushing yards. I don't think we want to see Desi, running like that. So if that happens, that doesn't work. So
For sure.
it made sense. It made sense. Honestly, it was a smart decision on our part not to try to drop back and throw the ball 15, 20, 30 times, especially, with him being the pass rusher he is. So, yeah, we don't want to watch that film.
So when I was watching him, the word that I would use to describe him is technician, because he not the biggest guy as far as height and weight, not necessarily the strongest guy, but his bag of tricks runs really deep, and he's fast. So
Yeah,
that's how he beats guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like a bag of tricks. I would really basically call him, because like he is 6'2", 246 pounds. So yeah, he is a little bit on the slight side.
Yeah.
I think that's going, as he gets, on the NFL training table, things of that nature, better nutrition, better facilities, the weight thing we can work with. But the bag he does have is, you're right, he rushes with a game plan. And that's something you don't see a lot of young pass rushers have the ability to do. Most of them really want to go power, bull rush, run straight through your chest. And then when you start playing at this level, where you're going up against the best of the best, or at least the guys that those teams can get, they're waiting for that. So yeah, he definitely rushes with a plan. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that he can string it together. A series of pass rush moves. Like he may start, rushing with his body, trying to bull rush some guys, but then he can turn around with a spin move on a guy really quick. And another thing that I like is he never really gives up on a play. Like, for example,
consistent motor. He has a motor.
In this game against Mizzou that I was watching, which that's probably gonna be the game that we watch on film today. He had some drives, some plays, that he ended up having to go all the way on the other end of the field after technically he was out of the play and ended up making the tackle. And that's that motor that we're talking about. That's that will to see a play through to the whistle that we're talking about.
Yeah, playing beyond the whistle, going until it's ended, not stopping and thinking, oh, I can't get to it. That's not his bag.
Yeah,
when you were talking about him for with the different things that he isn't, like I said, of all the things that he isn't, the things that we can get better on is it with his strength and things of that nature. But you can't coach will. You can't put will into a person. If the person wants the will to win and the will to be successful and the will to finish things out to the end, that's what you kind of see in this class. You see in this class from the first pick that we've already talked about with Tyler Booker, as well as we go down the list, you're gonna see a lot of guys that's like, hey, I want to be here. I want to be better. I want to get better. And I also take that even back to last year's class with Tyler Guyton. They just want to get better and have the opportunity to do it. So Easy is that kind of guy. That kind of guy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think the area that I think that he kind of succeeds the most, for those who don't know, you got your 1, your 3, your 5, your 7, and in some cases your 9.
Got your wide nine. You got your wide nine, right?
I think that he succeeds best when he is on the tight end's inside shoulder, maybe not right above that tackle, because he ideally you don't want a very good sized offensive lineman to get their hands on, because they can stop him in his tracks, you know. But if he has some room to work with and build up some of that speed that we talked about, then that's how he gets to the quarterback. That's how we can change directions and whip it around to the other side of the field if he needs to.
Right. So if you're going to compare him to a guy with his size, you know what's funny is that he's compared to in his spark score to Keyshawn, Keyshawn Nealon. I mean, not Keyshawn, but Marshawn Nealon. Marshawn Nealon. So, but the thing about with Marshawn was playing mostly on the left side because he was really a dominant, more of a quote unquote run stopper. And then we found out he did have some pass rush ability. I think what we're looking at with these guys that we have in this draft, everybody can come and be a contributor out the gate, especially these first two guys that we've talked about. But he comes out and he allows you to expand your defense with Eberflus and his game and his system to make Micah a weapon. So I can put Micah with Marshawn Nealon, and we can do games from over there. We can definitely do, like you said, even with Easy, putting Micah over there. But you never can find a spot where you can find Micah. So it's kind of like, find the scrub as we do on offense. We can find the scrub on defense and then be able to contribute from that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said before, and I just got it running while we were. Let me just get this off my screen. There we go. While we were speaking for this first few minutes, right? The game that we're gonna watch is the game Boston College versus Mizzou from this year. So let me get that up on the screen, man. Let me get that up on the screen. Here we go. All right, so boom. I'm already a couple minutes in just because I be having things running, while we talking. So as we're going, I want you to look at the difference when he is directly over top of the tackle versus when he is, a bit further out to where the guy can't immediately lock him up. Right here, for example, you see he's further along outside of that tackle, and he has a clean route to the quarterback. That's the type of stuff that we're talking about. And okay, perfect. Let me go back a little bit more. And he even tapped his head because he knew he had him. The guy couldn't kick out fast enough to get to him. Yeah, that's the type of things that I like. That is the type of things that I like, man. And he, like we said before, very, very speedy guy. So if the quarterback starts to run away from him,
is he playing against my guy who went early? He was the first tackle.
Armand Mimbu. Yes.
Yeah. Is he going against Armand? Yeah. See, two guys with tough names that on that last play where he got past him, was that on Armand or was it not? Was that?
I believe that Mimbu played, and I can check this right now. I believe he played primarily on the left. So give me a second, and I can check that if you want to feel a little bit this
because but my thing is if you're as you can see right there, not so much being opportunistic, but if he should be the guy you should look at all times. But even in that situation, if you line him up on the wide 9 position where he can go, you can play different games with that. Because even if I do that with if I do it with Micah or if I do it with Dante Fowler, him and Dante Fowler on the same side, you can run a game. And if a person negates if I look at Fowler and I don't look at him, I'm gone. If you pay attention with me, then you got a more experienced pass rusher with Fowler to go there, or with Sam Williams. So he really becomes an integral piece that you can rush him from anywhere. And the play before that you shot or what you showed, he didn't look super lost in pass coverage. He didn't, he didn't overextend himself by rushing the passer to try to make a play on the passer to get himself out of position with the tight end who caught it. Now he did catch the ball, but it was for a minimal gain. Yeah. And that's what you want to be able to do. You want his football IQ, or you want to see that his football IQ measures up to say, hey, I know I can go get the sack. I do want to go make sacks, but I want to go make the best football play possible at any given time. Yep. And on that particular play, he wasn't lined up over Mimbu. He does go to the right side sometimes. Yeah. Mimbu played primarily on the right side. So when he's 79 if you're ever looking for him. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go here. And like I said, Mimbu 79. Whenever you're over 79, that's when you know you got good against good. So as you can see, once again, when he's not lined up immediately over that tackle, he can pass the guy. You know, he has a bag of tricks that allows him, as long as he got a little bit of space, you know.
Yeah.
If he don't have no space from a tackle, then that's going to be something that we might see him out of the play unless it gets extended, you know.
Yeah.
Now see that's a type of situation that I was talking about before. He does not give up on a play, and he has good vision that allows him to carry through for the tackle on the running back. So on a defense that struggled against the run, that might be a breath of fresh air. What do you think about that?
I mean, definitely. I can always say as in we, because I'm a Virginia Tech guy. We made it our point to stay away from him. We wanted to make it to the point where we could keep him blocked up backside, where we can get a crack here, a crack there to make things happen. But at the next level, you want him to be able to set the edge, or be to the point that even when they go away from him, he's not totally to the point, hey, I'm not getting there. For him to be able to work down, come down the line, work against a guy who went the first round and got to the point of getting at him is good. As you saw in that last play there, he got it with Armand. He gave him a spin move inside, caused the throw to be, hurried.
And actually, what I did like about this play is prior to the spin, he tried to make his body skinny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He tried to make his body skinny.
Yeah. He's getting. He's getting low. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's low, and he goes. There you go. You set the edge. You force him back inside to the help. So those are the things. Even though he is undersized, typically, he doesn't. What he gives up in size, he matches with effort. So that's what we want to be able to do. And so now you got another piece with the Cowboys and for their defensive end room, where you got multiple guys that you are not losing so much in when you put your NASCAR package or your pass rush package out there, that they're vulnerable against the run. Don't like the fact that, man, he's still on the ground just a tad bit too much in this game for me.
That comes with the lack of size, though. That comes with the lack of size. If a tackle can use their leverage and really get themselves planted,
right,
he is going to lose that battle. But that's the game, That's the game.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the NASCAR package before, Chris. Do you think that he's going to be like a situational player, where when you're just trying to get your four fastest guys on the field in a 3rd and 7 situation, one of those type beats, or do you think that he is going to be a guy who sees a lot of snaps regardless of the situation, whether he is a specialty player or not?
No, I think what he is, though, I think you can never have enough good pass rushers. The way this game is made, the way this game is designed, and the seasons, things of that nature, you can never have enough. So right now, you look on your roster, you've got Sam Williams coming off injury, and he's kind of like the insurance policy, but also a guy that if Sam Williams doesn't work out, you got a guy you can replace. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Sam Williams,
3rd year.
This going on 4, ain't this 4 for Sam?
No, this is year 3.
We go back and look at it. I think this is Sam's 4th year. He got hurt. This is Sam's 4th year. So if this is Sam's 3rd or 3rd going to his 4th, I don't think this is 2nd going to 3rd. This is 3rd going to 4th.
No. This is his 3rd year coming up.
Okay. So he played his. So you're saying he played his rookie year, made all the mistakes he made, and then turned around the 2nd year, made some more mistakes that we said was dumb, and then got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a perfect example. So now you got a guy. You got Nealon that you brought in last year. You turn around. Sam Williams is coming.
He also got hurt. Nealon also got hurt.
But Nealon came back and played.
Sure.
Unlike he came back and played, and he was decent, and we could see that the wheels weren't turning. He was making plays, so we didn't have a problem with not offering DeMarcus Lawrence a deal, because we already got his replacement in place. I think what Easy gives you the ability for him to be inside the room with Sam Williams, as well as with the other pass rushers we have, to be able to get seasoned a little bit. And if Sam doesn't have the light switch come on, because year 3 is the switch has got to come on. Yeah. You've got a guy that you can go, we're going to plant him here. let him rock out his 4th year, and then after his 4th year, we can let him go. I think he's more of an insurance, but with the NASCAR package, going back what you're saying, you can do multiple things. You could go with Nealon. You can go with Nealon and Micah. You can go with Micah and Sam. Or you can go with Easy and Micah. You got a couple of different things. You can kick guys inside. You can bring those guys and put Mike at the middle linebacker where he can rush from the A and B gap. It's just so many different things he gives you the ability to do because of his versatility and his football IQ being where it is.
Let me ask you this. So you mentioned how this is going to be like a very pivotal year for Sam Williams. Nealon is coming along well. Is somebody this is a 2-part question. Is Easy going to be taking someone's snaps? And also, is somebody's job in danger because he was drafted?
I don't think it's so much of just taking someone's snaps. I just think there's going to be enough snaps to go around because you got, so your defensive ends right now, your defensive ends, Micah, which I don't want to play him defensive. I kind of want him as a weapon. You got Nealon, you got Dante Fowler, you got Sam Williams coming off an injury, and you got Easy. So those are like 4 defensive ends right there. Micah is the chess piece. So I don't think it's so much of taking anyone's snaps. I think you want to have those guys fresh. You want to have those guys continually coming in and moving around. And when you're moving with different fronts and things of that nature, you saw in the tape he has the athleticism to be able to drop back and cover in space. So he can get out space and deal with a tight end, which is a good deal. He has the ability to run with certain guys. So I don't think it's about him taking anybody's job. I think he's an integral piece inside of that 4, 5, 6-man rotation, and that's just the 4 off the top of my head. That makes you to the point he can plug and play. That's what we and we're going to say this throughout these videos we do. We wanted a guy who was able to come in and be able to plug and play guy, and he can be able to do that.
Sure. I do think that he gives you a good skill set in his ability to drop back, as we just saw. That's why I chose to highlight that. Is there something that he does that either of those 2 young guys, Nealon and Sam Williams, is there something that he does that they don't do?
Well, I mean, if you go off their SPAR score, him and Nealon are, Spider-Man pointing at each other. If you look at their SPAR scores, I think what we don't know about Sam is we don't know if Sam can be disciplined enough not to make the dumb play. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So what I think what he does, he brings in a skill set that you don't often have with a young pass rusher. He's an All-American.
Yeah.
He was, he led the country. He led the country in sacks, or he was second in sacks. He was second in tackles for loss behind Mike Green, who ended up getting drafted. But I think, and
it's kind of what I was talking about before.
Yeah. But I think
he was out of this play. He was out of this play.
Go ahead.
Hate to interrupt you. He was out of this play, but his vision and that motor, man, kept him going. Going. He hit a spin move, went directly in the opposite direction.
Right.
So that he can make that tackle.
Yeah. So he's, like I said, he if the ball's already gone, I want to go where the ball's at, and that's what he's trying to do. But I don't think is it a clock on anybody? Yeah, it's probably a clock on Sam because you want to see Sam turn the corner. But if Sam doesn't turn the corner or the light switch doesn't come on, you know what you need to be looking at in free agency or in the draft the next year, because he's coming on year 4 and going from there. The hope of everyone is that Sam does get it. And then if he does get it, now you have a piece that you can move both sides. As we're watching here, a lot of times he's lined up on the offense's left side, so he's going there, but he has the ability to work right or left side. So this just gives you another piece.
Yeah, he moved around a bit more in the pit game, which is cool. He's primarily working on the left side on this game, probably because you want to keep him away. You don't want to neutralize him against Armand Mimble. You still want him to be able to work it out.
Yeah.
So I understand why he's working on the left primarily this game.
Yeah. And you don't want, like you said, as we don't want Micah, there he goes, boom. Right. And
so I totally get it. I totally get them utilizing him on the opposite side,
Yeah. So I just think, what ends up happening here is for him at the next level, you just want a guy who has the ability to be able to move all over the board and be able to be an integral piece to your pass rush, but you don't lose that much in the run game. That's been one of the things that has kind of plagued Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler gonna go out there and give you 8 to 10 sacks a year, but you worry about him in the run game. And I think that's the one thing with Easy, we don't have that with him.
So in the coming, and he's if they weren't running away from him, he would have been right over top of Mimbu Paul's that time. So let me ask you this: rookie minicamp's coming up, and these guys are gonna be eating, sleeping, working out at the start. So what is something that you want to see him improve on?
I mean, in the rookie minicamp, man, I just want
rookie minicamp, training camp, up until the season. What is the one thing that
all I want him to be, all I want him to do above all else, man, is start being able to understand how they're going to use him, and just understanding diagnosing the playbook. This is a lot, for a rookie to get, through out the gate. Yeah. I just want, above all else, I want him to be healthy. I want to see, can he add and he can make a play into the rotation. And if Sam isn't ready to come back, that we're not just stuck with relying on Dante Fowler to be able to do that. I really want to have somebody in play that I don't have to put Micah defensive end primarily. Does that make sense?
I hear you, but I know that Micah gonna want himself to be on the edge, because that's where the money's at. The money lives on the edge.
But see, I think now it's and this is just me. This is just Chris speaking. This is just Chris, talking to you. I think the money's there. It's about winning now. And I think if it's to the point he's gonna get paid what he needs to get paid as a player, linebacker, defensive end, whatever. Now it's just about winning. I want it to be to the point that when we get to these games in November and December and January, that I have a healthy Micah Parsons. Yeah, sure. Nobody's going to be fresh, but I need him healthy. You and I both know, and if we look at his numbers through the first 8 to 10 games of every season, he is an absolute terror. He's a nightmare. But as we get into the later games of the season, we get into games 12, 15 through 17, he's kind of MIA. And with a kid like Easy, we can be able to spell and to lessen his load, or put him in less situations where he's catching these 6'4", 300-pound, big-handed daggum defensive ends falling on him and holding him and choking him and doing everything they got to do to be able to get him, because he ain't getting no calls. So let's put him in position. I
mean, I don't believe the guys are holding him. I think he's just limited in size. He's limited in size.
Oh, that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a small guy. He's a small guy.
I told Tim Brando the same thing, man. Yeah. A lie don't care who tell it as long as it gets told, man. Hey, it don't matter, bro. Yeah, that's a lie. No, they're holding him. He's just not getting the benefit of the call.
So what I would like for him to improve on is his hand usage. I think that he tries to finesse his way through blocks, and yes, that's great. His swim is good, his spin is good, things like that, and he processes things very well. He might be able to succeed a little bit more if he gets proper hand usage. If he fight a little bit more up front.
But I think all about development
is decent. Oh no, yeah, that's something that you can coach. You can coach that. You can get him a judo instructor. You can get a guy judo instructor.
As long as he's working against knives and stuff like that, he'd be good.
Look, Aaron Donald did it, man. Aaron Donald did it.
I mean, like I said, when you're at different institutions, man, the ability and funds are limited, so you might not be able to get those kind of type of instructions.
And you know what? Maybe Boston. We talked about Tyler Booker and how Alabama's going to be the closest to an NFL locker room and program, right? Boston College is probably a little bit on the opposite end.
Just a smidge out the window of that. Yeah,
there we go. See, look, the window right here. Boston College has jumped
on the opposite side. It's on the opposite side.
It's on the opposite side, right?
So it's like,
man. What I would like for whether it's his position coaches, whether it's the offensive guys, or whether it's some of his line mates, I just want him to be able to learn how to use his hands and fight better.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's the next step. That's the next level. So if he adds that to his repertoire,
absolutely,
then that gives him the ability, man, to be a productive rookie coming into the league.
Sure.
That means that gets him more snaps.
Yeah.
If he can walk away this year, double digit on tackles, maybe 4 to 5 on tackles for loss, and ends up with 3 to 5 sacks, bro, I think that's a great season for a rookie, man.
And that's the type of stuff that you were used to seeing from Sam Williams those first 2 years. He was like
did we get 3 to 5 sacks from Sam?
Yeah, I think he was like a 4 to 5 sack guy each of his first 2 years.
Hey man, you are usually the guy that's down on people and you throw dirt on a lot of people. Your favorite phrase is "act like they ain't here."
Yeah, act like they don't exist.
Yeah. You the act like they don't exist guy.
Yeah.
I've been sorely disappointed with Sam Williams' discipline.
Yeah, sure. 100%.
Yeah,
the man cannot keep his foot off of a gas pedal.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm not talking about in the car. I'm talking about on the field. I don't like his discipline on the field. I want to see more from him in that area. Mm-hmm. But man, at the end of the day, he is, Desmond is a integral piece in us going forward, and I'm just looking for great things to happen for him. Sure. I think you got another first rounder. You got a first rounder at pick 44.
Yeah, I believe so. I think that he didn't get a first round grade from me. Let me clarify there. But I would have been able to see him get picked in the first round.
Okay. Okay. Well, he was to me. Okay. He was one of the top 2 pass rushers for me. You had James Pierce that was at Tennessee. Then you had Desi. Then you had Mike Green thrown in there. So he's one of the top 2-3 pass rushers for me.
Sure.
And so for him he may not have been top. He was a first round talent. He's definitely a first round talent. I don't think he was in that 13, 14, that 11 to 12 that you had. Rounds, but he was definitely a first round talent. I put it this way. Mm-hmm. He was probably for most people on a lot of people's boards. My man Nix is out there, man. I talk to a lot on Twitter and things of that nature. A lot of people have him as one of the top 30 players on their board. So that's something to be said, man. That's something to be said. Man. Yeah, man.
I think that if the Cowboys want to scheme him to success, if a team has a smaller tackle, that's who they're gonna line him up against. Just so that people don't pin him down as much, try to take his lunch money.
Yeah. I think that's going. I just think you can play different games with him. I don't think because even though his right now his size is he's listed at 245, I don't think it's to the point that you can just swallow him up and throw him out the club all the time because he's not going to allow you to do that. But I do think that he will not be a liability in the run game. I don't think he is
100%.
I do not think he'll be a liability in the run game.
He will be an asset in the run game.
Right. 100%. So I think if you do try to run at him, he's going to be, like I said before, set the edge well enough that he's going to force people back inside. And if you got the cavalry coming from the inside, I think we're going to be fine. That's why I said even with him, even if I match him up in a rotation with behind Sam or behind Nealon, he's going to be able to take up snaps but not be a liability in the run game. So I think that's fine. That's fair.
I had one last question.
Go ahead.
Because we ain't got too much time in the middle of the day today.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh man. How much more weight do you think you can add to his frame?
You probably put about 15 pounds on him. You can get him at 255.
Will he maintain his speed?
I mean, I think if you put 255, if he comes into camp 245, because what we fail to realize is that the progression in gaining weight is a process. As we get older, you get a little more wisdom. Gaining weight is easy. Gaining weight is easy. But when you're a high level athlete, you probably want to say if he can get to camp at 250, 252, and then after doing the bump, going through that, and if you can get him to play at 250 this year, and then you turn around and get a full year of all he does is football and comes back the second year with maybe 5 to 7 more pounds. So if you put him at 250, 257 and things of that nature, then you'll be able to see, can he maintain it? That's always the biggest thing. That's why the year 1 to year 2 jump is so big for these guys, is because guys are no longer having to go to English literature class. They're no longer having to write papers or essays. All they doing is doing football. So if he, like, my number one goal for him is to be healthy. If he can play this year around 252 and start understanding how that feels, and then understand how to work with his speed to be able to do that. I don't think that 10 to 15 pounds on a 6'2" frame is going to slow him down, because it's really going to be get cut up like dope money. It's not going to be like 250. It ain't going to be like 250, 260 on us. It's going to be like 250, 260, on a Maserati. So what we're really doing is tuning the engine with maybe 5 to 10 more pounds. Does that make sense?
I get it. I get it.
I knew
it's gonna be a healthy weight gain, not something that is, and that's the type of stuff, man. This play right here. Yeah. Guys constantly can put him on the ground, man. So I hope that a little more weight makes him a little bit harder to move around.
An addition of a little more judo.
Yeah,
because Mambu got his hand. He got my man got his hands on him. The next thing is a little bit more of the hand fighting to get away from that. Then he's able to finish that play. That's Absolutely. All that is. If he don't get his hands on him to push him, he finishes that play.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was the last resort for him, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then the next thing he want to roll up in my man's chest. Okay, yeah, he rolls up in his chest, but he want that. Yeah. He wants you to be close to him. So that's what you're looking at, man. That's what you're looking at. So
any final comments on him, I guess?
No, man. Listen, an excellent pickup for the Cowboys. You got him at great value. No pun intended. It ain't Walmart, but you got him at great value where you got him at pick 44.
Sure.
And I just think it's a really good addition for us in our defensive end room. The number one thing that I want above all else is to have people in place who can play at those end positions that allows us to make Micah a weapon. Yeah. That's what I want above all else. To be able to move Micah all around the chessboard, so that if we put Micah, inside of the mic, next, or next to Louisville, he can rush from there. Now you got 3 people trying to meet at the quarterback, whereas to the point of saying, oh, hey, he's there, let's focus there. Then it's not such a huge drop off at the end positions. That's what I want.
I get it, man. I get it.
All right.
I get it for sure. So, Chris, we doing this on our lunch breaks today, man. So, it got to be a little shorter than usual. I guess that's one of the benefits of working from home, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the Cowboys got a good piece, man. I think that he can come in, be a very solid part of that rotation on the D-line. He may have, right now anyway, in year one, before he really get his grown man body, he might have like a niche. But I think that as time goes on, as he gets a little bigger, a little stronger, then his usage rate will increase as well.
Oh yeah, without question. I don't think you bring him on and you wonder where he is. Yeah. You bring him on and you're excited about seeing what he does in the process. So, just he'll be in the facility, and by the time we get mini camps and we start going to OTAs and get into camp, you'll be wanting to hear, hey, how's Martin? How's Easy doing? What's he doing? Who's he working against? Is he working against the 2s and the 3s? Is he working against the 1s? Is he giving guys trouble? If you start hearing, yo, man, Tyler Guyton is over here, getting his ass whipped, and Easy's just walking around him, then you got a little, you may say, oh, bad on Guyton, or if you see, hey, this is good.
I'm gonna be sick.
Hold on, man. Hold on, bro. If you go over there and he's over there whooping ass, then it could be one or two different things. I think the best time you're gonna be able to say what he's doing and how he's doing is when we have those camp,
blue and white scrimmages.
Those team-to-team scrimmages when you're like, you're going against the Raiders or you're going against the Rams. Now, if he over whooping ass, then you're like, that's good. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like that. Even with like back in the day when Tyron Smith was here, and we was like, yo, Tyron Smith over there whooping Micah's ass. But then we turn around, we see Mike in the game, he killing everybody. So it's it's a process. I do want to see him get thrown into the fire day one. Like I want to see Tyler Booker get the best of Osa, get the best of Mozzie, get the best of everybody. I want to see Easy get the best of Terrence Steele, get the best of Tyler Guyton. I want him to get good on good and see where we're at.
For sure, man. For sure. So if you stuck with us for this 35 minutes so far,
35.
I would actually be personally offended if you didn't go down there, smack that like button. Should be in the bottom right hand corner of your YouTube window. And right beside that is going to be a subscribe button. You should already be subscribed. But if not, go ahead and tap that and click that bell too, so you know.
If you kicking with us at 2:40 in the afternoon, we already know you subscribe. But the biggest thing you got to do is you got to share it. Get us out there in the airways. Get us out there in the atmosphere, so people can say, "Hey, yo, man, B keep messing with this beard is growing, man. But you got to catch it. You got to catch the big fella over here. You know what I'm saying? We want that. That comes in the comments section, man. So we definitely want to make sure you comment with us and then tap in with us, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, as always, I'm Brandon, and Chris calls himself Robin, but no. Sometime Batman needs a Superman, and that's what got Chris right there.
I appreciate it, bro.
Instead of the Justice League, we come together and make Frankly football, man.
That's it.
Until next time.
Peace.